Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the November 4th edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Jaime San. Will introduce you to Chapel Hill's new mayor, who won by less than 100 votes.
And I'm Jen Brandt. No such drama in the Carrboro mayor's race. It was a landslide victory for the incumbent.
In sports, the Tar Heels look to increase their commanding lead in the Carlisle Cup, and some low-profile student athletes.
Weathercaster Morgan Brooks will tell us what kind of weather we can expect for homecoming weekend.
All that and students' secret shenanigans.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Chapel Hill has a new mayor after a tense night of vote counting. Good evening, I'm Chris Neal.
And I'm Bethany Tuggle. It was a close race between the two main contenders. We didn't know the result until a hand count of the votes in the final precinct reporting. Jaime Zaya joins us in the newsroom. Jaime, what was the atmosphere like at the Kleinschmidt headquarters?
It was pretty intense, Bethany. Supporters gained confidence as the night went on, but they weren't able to declare victory until long after the polls closed. Several months of campaigning came to an end Tuesday with Mark Kleinschmidt's close victory against Matt Chakowski. While other races in the state were determined early, the mayor's seat in Chapel Hill was a close call until the very end. Although early numbers favored Kleinschmidt, he refused to call it a victory.
I refused to declare victory to the Durham Herald.
With the numbers favoring his candidate, however, Chapel Hill resident Jeff Daner had great expectations for the new mayor-elect.
I think he'll just continue to work with the community and understand the issues and meet all the constituents and come up with solutions that work for the town.
With a lead of less than 100 votes, Kleinschmidt got reassurance from the person who knows him best, his mother.
You're a winner in my book, honey.
Results finally came in, and it was a win for Kleinschmidt.
We did. We won it.
In his acceptance speech, Kleinschmidt acknowledged he has to work to bridge the divide in Chapel Hill politics.
We have a formidable job ahead of us, and that is overcoming the division that this race has created in our community.
Regarding his plans for dealing with the university, development is at the top of his list.
We look to manage the growth of and build out of Carolina North, and really in an exciting way, look at how the University Square property is going to be redeveloped.
So Kleinschmidt intends to work closely with the university and says he's going to reach out to the runner-up so the healing process can begin.
Jaime, is that really possible, as divisive as the campaign was?
Bethany, Kleinschmidt told me Chakowski remains an important part of town council and says that the council and the mayor must work together so the city can progress.
Jaime Zaya reporting from the newsroom. Thanks.
It certainly was a tough loss for Matt Chakowski, who ran a strong campaign. Supporters gathered at Franklin Hotel hoping to see him pull ahead, even after his concession speech. It's not surprising so many came together, considering Chakowski had more than 200 donors, and a campaign fund topping out at more than $23,000. After accepting the loss, Chakowski made sure to individually thank all of his supporters who stuck with him until the end.
It's just humbling to experience the outpouring of support.
He congratulates Kleinschmidt and says he looks forward to working with him.
Two other candidates shared the remaining votes, including Augustus Cho. Cho got 226 votes, a little more than 2%. Last night, Cho awaited the results in a more private fashion. His spirits seemed high as he shared dinner and conversation with his daughter and campaign manager. A third-time candidate, Cho broke barriers as the first Korean American to run for office in Chapel Hill. In other election news, Penny Rich, Ed Harrison, Lauren Eastham, and Jean Peace won seats on the Chapel Hill Town Council as the top 4 vote-getters. Each got 14 to 15% of the vote.
And there weren't a lot of votes to go around because turnout was exceptionally low. Only 16% of Orange County's eligible voters went to the polls Tuesday. Voters headed to booths in Carrboro and Chapel Hill to find little or no wait at all. Turnout was low throughout most of the area. However, older districts reported having some of the highest polling traffic, up to 30% in some locations. Chapel Hill Library saw a constant stream of polling traffic throughout the day. Voter turnout was important in the Chapel Hill mayor's race, but didn't matter too much in the Carrboro race. Jennifer Brandt joins us live in the studio. Jen, I guess it was a different atmosphere at the Chilton headquarters last night.
Well, Chris, I don't know if you could call it laid back, but it was pretty close. Almost as soon as the polls closed, Mark Chilton knew he'd be back for 2 more years. Business went on as usual at Jesse's Coffee and Bar in Carrboro. But once incumbent Mark Chilton walked in, it became a victory party. It was a casual atmosphere, filled with snacking and reacquainting as family and friends waited by the computer for the official announcement. It wasn't a long wait.
Hey, Mark.
Supporters shared plenty of kisses, hugs, and handshakes to congratulate Chilton, who won 72% of the vote.
Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to the voters of Carrboro for expressing a lot of confidence in me as your mayor. I'm grateful for the opportunity to continue for another 2 years.
Chilton supporter Sammy Slade, who won a seat with the town of Carrboro alderman last night, was also there to share in the moment.
For one, I've been standing up all day, so my legs are really tired. But I feel great.
Chilton and Slade share more than just a friendship and a win in Tuesday night's election.
Timmy is now going to be our youngest elected official in Orange County, which I can relate to because it used to be me. I think he'll bring a lot of energy and some fresh ideas.
Even after their win, both Chilton and Slade watched the computer screen to see who they would be working with as Chapel Hill's mayor. Chilton wasn't shy about his excitement for Mark Kleinschmidt. The two have known each other since they were students at UNC. So, Chris, Chilton is looking forward to working with Kleinschmidt on a number of projects, including improving the intersection where Merritt Mill, Franklin Street, and Main Street all come together at the border of Chapel Hill and Carrboro.
Okay, Jen, as of right now, are there any other specific projects they plan to work on together?
Not yet, Chris, but there are plenty of ways the two governments can work together organizationally for the benefit of students and permanent residents.
Okay, thanks. Jen Brandt reporting live from our studio. Here are the other results from Carrboro. If you take a look at your screen, Jacqueline Gist, Sammy Slade, and Randy Haven O'Donnell are now members of the Carrboro Board of Aldermen. All three attracted right at 25%. While Michelle Brownstein with 27%, Gregory McElveen with 17%, and J.M. Green with 16% won seats on the Chapel Hill Carrboro Board of Education. Okay, Bethany, imagine at age 20 finding out secrets, dark secrets about your family.
We'll take a look at a recent grad's life-changing journey of discovery.
Where's the whole wheat? There's no whole wheat. Hey, excuse me?
Excuse me, sir, something wrong?
Yeah, there's something wrong. You want to get me some whole wheat? Oh, come on.
Hey, hey, amigo. Hey, I asked you for whole wheat bread. This is not what I wanted. El Guido.
Sorry for the confusion.
You know, that's the problem with these people. If you want to serve Americans, you got to learn to speak the language. You know what I'm saying?
No, sir. I don't. Enjoy your lunch.
Imagine the power of one voice. Click freedomcenter.org to find yours.
One day these rats were playing in the woods. Wanted some matches and that's no good. Listen to smoke before you give it a try. Only you. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about freedom. Nothing very nice. Homeless mind. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Fire.
Tonight, the conclusion of our three-part series about the effects of Argentina's dirty war on our generation. Not just young adults in that country, but also one recent UNC grad whose personal journey of discovery started as part of a study abroad experience.
Her exposure to this book opened Karina Cortez's eyes to a family history she had never known.
This is my family. My family that I learned about in books.
In the pages of this book, she read the story of the death of her mother's uncle,
Carlos Lizaso, murdered June 6, 1956.
Piece by piece, Cortez learned the effects Argentina's dirty war had on her family.
You learn about it, and it's like fascinating.
Cortez learned of the 30,000 people the Argentine government took captive, tortured, and in many cases murdered during the military dictatorship from 1976 to 1983.
You're putting together pieces, and then it gets to the point where you just are wallowing in these atrocities and in the idea of torture, and you can only sit in that for so long before you have to take a step forward.
Cortez then began to write her own story, a story revealing the impact of the discovery on her life. She put on a play documenting the experiences of her mom, her aunt, and their cousin during the dictatorship. Cortez's director, Joseph Meckles, says the story is one few people in the U.S. know anything about, but it's something many can connect with.
I think getting that sort of relationship to history and this personal way of getting there is a very powerful way of learning about it.
In Argentina, the culture of silence surrounding the topic is slowly fading away. From school trips to the prison where many captives were held, to tours of the city square,
while the militaries were kidnapping people and murdering people,
where mothers would protest demanding information about their children who had disappeared. Cortez says it's important that discussions about the issue lead to action.
What are you going to do about it? Like, what are we going to do to help push this forward and to make it so that it won't happen again? I don't think that you can just push it aside and not talk about it.
So Cortez has decided to talk about it, to bring attention to a subject that affected so many lives, to address the deeper issues that connect the story to all of us, and to share her personal journey of discovery.
Karina recently moved to Shanghai, China, but will continue her research from there. She also plans on return visits to Buenos Aires to learn more about her family and to lend her support to Las Abuelas.
Alums living a little bit closer will be flooding into Chapel Hill for this week's homecoming activities. There are a bunch of activities this week. Tonight, there are extended hours at the Tar Heel Basketball Museum from 6 to 10 at the Ernie Williams Athletic Center. Thursday, it's the Fair Before the Fight from 6 to 10 at Hooker Fields. Friday is the men's basketball game at 7:30 against Belmont Abbey in the Dean Dome. Saturday, the homecoming parade is at 11 a.m. And finally, the Tar Heels take to the gridiron to level the Devils. Now for a quick update about 2 students injured by a falling tree on campus Monday. This is the spot near Mitchell Hall where the pin oak fell and injured 2 students Monday afternoon. Both are okay, but paramedics did take one to the hospital. Officials said a decaying trunk and roots helped cause the trees collapse. Cleanup crews finished hauling away the debris from the site yesterday afternoon, leaving only a huge mound of dirt where the huge tree once stood.
Demand for the swine flu vaccine is ahead of supply nationwide, including here in the Triangle area. The H1N1 vaccine is hitting Orange County as the number of swine flu cases continues to climb nationwide. Public Information Officer for the Orange County Health Department, Donna King, says high demand and a trickling supply of the vaccine is causing some anxiety. The Centers for Disease Control is encouraging only those who are in a priority group to get the vaccine right away. Car drug pharmacist Lisa Paget says in spite of the shortage, they're receiving steady shipments and getting the vaccine to the right people is most important.
So I'm encouraging people, if you're not in one of those groups, don't check off that you are in one of those groups because there's someone who needs that dose most likely more than you do.
For more information about the availability of the H1N1 vaccine, you can visit our website at carolinaweek.org. Well, Chris, it's been a pretty nice week outside.
It has. My question is, will it stay like that for the homecoming weekend? Morgan Brooks is going to tell us. Morgan?
Yes, Chris, it's going to stay nice and sunny for us this weekend. Perfect weather for the homecoming game against the Blue Devils this weekend. It's going to be a beautiful week and weekend for us.
Hello, ladies.
Can you imagine your life without animals? Here at the Durham Animal Shelter, we can't. So come see us. Your new best friend is already expecting you.
Let's give it a shot. You can do it this time. I gotta get a real dog.
To you, this
this is a place to make macaroni and cheese. To someone else, it's a way to make a kid sorry for what he did. Preventing child abuse and neglect doesn't just mean reporting it, it means stopping it before it starts. Find out how at preventchildabuse.org or 1-800-CHILDREN. A child is helpless. You are not.
There's something about you, baby. I can't get enough. There's something about you, baby. I got you looking at me, I'm gonna call you bluff. There's something about you.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Have you been a dad today?
Down to the morning light.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Morgan Brooks with the rest of this week's forecast. We've had some very chilly nights recently and chilly mornings. Everyone heading to class, I know you've needed your warm jacket. You've had to go out and start your car early in the morning. We've even had frost advisories. We're going to keep on seeing these chilly nighttime temperatures for the rest of the week and on into the weekend. But during the daytime, we have beautiful blue sunny skies and pretty warm temperatures in the low 60s. And it looks like we're going to have perfect weather for this weekend's homecoming game against the Blue Devils. If we take a look at the U.S. satellite, we see pretty clear skies over North Carolina. There's a little bit of cloud cover that's headed our way tonight. We could have a chance of isolated sprinkles, but nothing too much. If we take a look at the surface map, we see why we're having this nice weather. We have an area of high pressure just up into the northeast, and it's giving us lots of clear skies and dry weather. We have this low pressure moving in, but it's not going to bring too much of a temperature change. We're going to keep on seeing clear skies. But this isn't the best news if you're worried about the drought. We're actually 9 inches below normal still, leaving central North Carolina in moderate drought. Not too much to worry about quite yet, though. Looking at Friday's travel, if you're headed out of the state, no need to worry about flight delays either. Atlanta, a high of 67 with sunny skies. DC, 54. New York, 51. And Chicago, 56. Windy in both areas. If you're traveling but staying in the States, then you're going to see Asheville having a high of 64 with sunny skies. A perfect weekend to go out, go on a hike, catch a glimpse of that fall foliage we only get to experience once a year. It's at peak season right now. Perfect time to go out. Wilmington, it's also a great weekend to go head out for a stroll along the beach. High of 66 this Saturday with sunny skies, waves from 1 to 2 feet. The big news in the Triangle area this weekend, though, is the Battle of the Blues. Blue Devils are coming to battle UNC for their homecoming game. Tailgate temperatures will be in the upper 50s to low 60s. It'll warm up to around 64 for kickoff, with light winds around 4 miles per hour. Keep your sweatshirt handy for the post game, as temperatures will drop down to around 55. Tonight in the Triangle area is going to be pretty chilly also. It's going to be 43 in the Triangle, 48 in Greenville, 45 in Fayetteville, and 41 in the Triad. Partly cloudy skies with a chance of isolated sprinkles. Tomorrow, though, we're going to see clear skies, nothing but sun. It's going to be pretty windy. We have a high chance of gusts around 30 miles per hour, so might get blown away by that. If we take a look at our 5-day forecast, you see that we have nothing but sunny skies for the rest of the week. What a wonderful forecast for us. And it might even warm up a little bit for us this Monday.
Well, Morgan, I know they're bringing back the homecoming parade for the first time in a couple of years. I'm just glad it's going to be sunny skies on Saturday when that happens.
It's going to be perfect weather for the parade.
Great stuff.
Thanks so much, Morgan.
Thanks, Morgan.
Thank you.
Are you looking for your next best friend? Let us introduce you to this week's Adoptable Pet of the Week. This little tan male pit bull is Shep, but don't let his wrinkles fool you. Shep is only 9 weeks old. He was born at the shelter with 2 brothers and a sister. Shelter workers named him after one of the 3 Stooges. Shep is a wild little rascal who loves to play as much as he can, and while he loves being held, he'd much rather run around. He's healthy, fixed, and ready to have a new playmate. To adopt Shep, go to our website, carolinaweek.org, for the link.
Now Simone Scott joins us for a look at sports.
Simone, the big homecoming football game against Duke coming up, but I hear the volleyball team served up a victory of their own last night.
That's right, Chris. The volleyball team is taking care of business.
All right now.
And after the break, I'm going to show you how the volleyball team blocks the Wolfpack's chances at a win in Chapel Hill.
Jonesy kitty, Jonesy kitty, Jonesy cat. She is my kitty. She is my squiddy. She is my Jonesy. She is my Jonesy cat. She is my cat.
Things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
Properly inflating my tires burns less fuel and saves me money on gas. Yeah, I'm saving Mother Nature from pollution, but more importantly, she saved me $11. Ow!
Environmental defense. Get green.
By keeping my car regularly tuned, I save money on gas and repairs. That also means cleaner air. You know, feels good to help save the cash, planet.
Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
Hey, we tried all.
Don't tell me to calm down. I hate that.
Stop acting like an animal. You're in public.
I will knock you into next week. Stop it. No, I'm not going to stop it. That's it. We are leaving
like an
right
animal.
now. We are leaving right now. Get up. Susanna, I said we're leaving.
It's go time. It's that time of the year. The Clash of the Blues, the Battle of Tobacco Road, good versus evil. Saturday at 3:30, the Heels will host the Blue Devils for UNC's homecoming weekend. It's perhaps the most important Duke-Carolina football game in a decade. The Tar Heels are 1-3 in the ACC, and UNC currently dominates Duke in rushing yards this season with 135 yards per game to Duke's 75. But Sean Drawn and Ryan Houston will need to put out all their stops this weekend to break down the Blue Devils' defensive line. Quarterback TJ Yates and the offensive line need to keep up the successful third down conversions and passing they showed against Virginia Tech. The Tar Heels' nationally 7th-ranked defense needs to keep up the work as well. Last week, the D-line held the Hokies to only 11 first downs and 95 rushing yards. Despite the road win against the Hokies last week, UNC coach Butch Davis said it will be tough to repeat this celebration against the Blue Devils.
This will be a big challenge for our football team to be able to bounce back, and I think it'll be a big challenge. You know, sometimes it's not as hard to handle adversity sometimes as it is success.
Now the game could come down to UNC place kicker Casey Barth, who is this week's Progress Energy Performer of the Week. Barth kicked a 21-yard field goal to seal the deal and the Tar Heels with that win against Virginia Tech. This sophomore from Wilmington is 9 for 12 in field goals so far this season. His 2 field goals against the Hokies helped secure UNC's first road win in the state of Virginia since 1981. You go, Casey. UNC is known as a powerhouse in both athletics and academics, but the number of athletes focusing more on their academics might surprise you.
Kyle DeVito is a senior at UNC and a Division I lacrosse player, but he plays on Carolina's club team. Confused? DeVito played 2 years at Marist College in New York before deciding to transfer.
I didn't really feel challenged there, and I realized that I should have gone to a school that I would have been more satisfied being at as opposed to a school where I could just play lacrosse.
DeVito's not a rare case. The club lacrosse team boasts 3 other transfers who played collegiate lacrosse, as well as a former varsity Tar Heel. That's not counting the players who were recruited for Division II or III lacrosse who bypassed the opportunity to come straight to Chapel Hill from high school. Director of Sport Clubs Jason Halsey cites a recent New York Times article that estimates more than 2 million college students play club sports, compared with about 430,000 playing NCAA-sanctioned sports. Halsey says he notices many students have a high level of interest in getting a great education to go with an opportunity to play competitively.
I've been told, hey, I decided to come to Carolina over choosing another school because of the academics.
DeVito acknowledges he spent 20 hours a week with lacrosse and only about 5 doing schoolwork during his first 2 years. Those numbers are reversed now.
I've been more challenged here. I've developed a much better work ethic. You know, I'm not just skating through with good grades. I'm actually having to work to earn good grades.
If you ever want confirmation about the depth of athletic talent behind the scenes at UNC, check out the Club Lax team. but if they're studying, they might not be on the field. In Chapel Hill, I'm Nick King, Carolina Week Sports.
There are more than 50 sports clubs at UNC. 3 of those clubs were national champions last year. Anytime the volleyball team welcomes the Wolfpack of NC State, the Heels usually show no mercy. Look at him go, he's pumped up. And the Heels look strong early on. Here's Megan Owens with some trickery, and the Heels take the first 2 sets easily. Now, because of some errors and some strong play by the Wolfpack, State makes a slight comeback in the 3rd set, but it doesn't last long. Ingrid Hansen-Tutland, get that out of here. And Emily McGee with the spike. And again, that's just sick nasty. And that seals it for the Heels as they win 3 sets to love. And guys, the soccer team, the women's soccer team, is starting the ACC tournament tonight. We're wishing them good luck.
All right, best of luck to them.
That's right. Thanks, Simone.
Appreciate it. Bethany, when you're a part of a secret society, you usually try to keep your activities secret.
That's right. Not this group. These crazy students want as much attention as their shenanigans will bring them.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
The less art kids get,
Get a job.
the more it shows. Are yours getting enough? Art. Ask for more.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Thousands of kids in this country have everything it takes to go to college, except the money. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Bethany, did you know UNC has its very own Secret Service?
Chris, I always know things before you do.
Oh, yeah, right.
As Carolina Week's Adam Yosem tells us, that service is bringing smiles to students and employees on campus.
On the 2nd floor of Rams Head Dining Hall,
and then we're gonna go into Happy Birthday.
a surprise party is in the works for an employee.
When the piñata breaks, we gotta go nuts.
Put on by UNC's very own Secret Service.
We're gonna brighten the day of somebody who was just coming into Rams.
It's a new movement at UNC. The members believe in spreading joy throughout campus by what they like to call shenanigans.
Things happening at unexpected times anywhere on campus.
Like running through the quad yelling as a red coat chases them, or engaging in an activity known as parkour.
Getting from point A to point B as creatively as possible.
The Secret Service has more than 160 members. They're not officially recognized by the university, but that's not stopping them from doing these shenanigans, such as last week's surprise party. When the real Katrina didn't show up, the Secret Service went to Plan B. Sophomore Jeffrey Houston was one of the spectators caught off guard.
I thought they thought that I was someone else. Then I realized that I was someone else. I'm Katrina today, so I was very surprised.
Surprised by a movement on campus, all in the name of good fun. In Chapel Hill, I'm Adam Yosem, Carolina Week.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.